Well, hello! How lovely of you that you joined me here today. My name is Eva and I live in Dublin, Ireland. C.S. Lewis was inspired by Ireland when he was writing Narnia, and he said about Narnia that there is always winter here and never spring. And to be honest, he wasn't that far off. So today I would like to talk about what to do when you are tired. Apart from the obvious, which is go to bed. Apart from that, stay tuned. But before I get into it, I would like to tell you a story. It is a Chinese folk tale about an emperor who didn't have heirs, and so he went in search for one. And no, this is not a good night story, but if you want to take your favorite beverage, coffee, tea, depending when in the daytime, morning, afternoon or evening you're watching this, hot chocolate perhaps, or just some glass of water, you may pause this video, go and take your favorite beverage and then come back. Okay, good. So I'd like to tell you a story. There was an emperor in an ancient China during a very wise dynasty, if dynasties can be wise, but this emperor was really wise, and he was very old and aware that he did not have an heir. So in order to make sure that he did have someone who is going to inherit the kingdom and become the next king, he invited the children from the whole kingdom to come and see him one winter afternoon. As children gathered, he gave them each a seed, tell them to go home to their towns and villages, and for a year to look after this seed. And the next year come back to show him what has grown. And then when they come back and when he examines what has grown, he will decide who is going to be the next emperor or the next heir. Among the children was a little boy called Ling, who loved flowers and tended his garden together with his mother really well. So he looked forward to looking after this seed. So he went home, explained to his mom what has happened, and together they found a pot, put some soil in it, some moisturizer for the soil, and they put the seed into it and watered it every day. The mother only helped to pick a pot. The rest, Ling did everything by himself because he was an experienced gardener. Weeks have passed and the children would gather in the streets and brag about beautiful flowers that have grown. But nothing has grown in Ling's pot. So he didn't really want to go out and show it to the children because he knew they're gonna laugh at him. They did inquire, however, "What about your pot, Ling? What grown in your pot?" "Oh, I cannot tell you yet. You'll see in a few weeks or maybe in a few months. I cannot tell you yet what has grown." So months have passed and very soon a year has passed. All the children were pumped up about their wonderful plants. Some had bushes, some had trees, amazingly beautiful plants, so many colors, variety of green leaves. They were all looking forward to going to the palace and seeing, will the king pick them to be the new emperor and the new heir for the kingdom. Only Ling wasn't looking forward to going to that gathering because lo and behold, after a whole year of tending after this pot, nothing has grown in his pot. He had a barren pot. He was dismayed, he didn't really know what has happened, and he was afraid to go and meet the king. But his mom looked at him in his eyes and said, "No matter what the consequences are, my dear child, you will have to go and show your barren pot to the king." So he went. Thousands of children gathered, all really proud with their plans. When they saw that Link brought an empty pot, they laughed at him. Why did you bring an empty pot? Link couldn't say a thing, because he didn't really know why nothing grew. He did all he could, but nothing ever grew. He was embarrassed. And so the emperor went from a child to child, examined various plants, and when he came in front of Ling, he said, "What happened here? I watered the pot and I planted the seed as you told us, and I watered the pot every day, but nothing grew." The emperor just said, and went to examine the other plants. When he has examined all of the plants, he came and stood in front of the children and said, "I see that some of you really would like to be an emperor, so much so that you went to a lot of trouble in assuring that that would happen. But I need to tell you something, and I need to show you one particular pot." He said, "Ling, would you please come here?" Poor little boy was petrified and said, "Oh no, why me? No, no, no." But he had to obey, and he went with his barren pot. And the emperor said, "A year ago, I gave you all a seed. But before I did that, each of the seeds were boiled, so much so that not one of those seeds was viable for growth. And I see in front of me thousands of plants that have grown, and only one barren pot. Only one barren pot." I don't have to tell you who became the new emperor. But from now on, from the rest of the video, I would like to talk about your barren pot. I'm sure that a lot of you watching this can easily think of an area in your life where you think you have done the best you could, and you don't know why nothing has grown. And you don't know what has happened. You maybe think it's you, or something is wrong with you. I want to reassure you that that's not the case. There are various ways why we may be tired. Earlier this week on Instagram, I asked in my story, in a poll, I said, "I've been quite tired lately. I wonder, anyone else?" Everyone who answered with yes. No one answered no. Of course, tiredness can have various causes, various reasons, and as I said at the beginning of the video, if it's very simple, that you're not sleeping enough, well then, why are you looking at this video? Why are you watching this video? Go and snooze. Of course, there are times in our lives when we cannot sleep because there are deeper things going on, and there are traumas maybe that we have to deal with, and they're keeping us awake. That's very difficult to deal with, and that would naturally make you tired. And every effort you are making in order for you to move forward on your journey of healing is not unnoticed and does bring you forward, even if you do not see it yet. But here, I am not talking either about those who are refusing to sleep or cannot sleep because of trauma, but about those of us who have had enough sleep but need more. Because there may have been a barren pot in your life that has become perhaps even heavier due to the pandemic, but is not caused by the pandemic? Various griefs. And we in this society, I'm afraid, are not very good in holding people's griefs. We look at them as this barren pot and we say, why do you have this barren pot in front of you? It's very tiring to have to carry emotions and feelings that are deep, but you cannot really express them with many people because they will not understand. There are various areas, and I'm not going to mention all of them because there is no way I can know which is your. I cannot know what is your barren pot. But the moral of the story is that if you are going through something that is making you extremely tired, know that perhaps there is something on a very deep level going on that is going to eventually be good for you. When Adam fell asleep in Genesis, as we can read if you open the Bible, and you can read in Genesis. I'm not going to open that because I have another scripture I want to read, so I don't want to mess it up. But at one stage, God gave Adam a really deep sleep, and then he created a woman, a helper for him. There are certain seasons in our lives when God gives us the deep sleep, the deep need for more rest. Take it as much as you can. With the story of the barren pot, apart from it possibly making you tired on a level that is too deep for words, Ling, this boy who had the barren pot and was embarrassed about it and for a year had to look after it while observing other children around him joyfully exclaiming how much their pots have grown. Imagine discouragement. Imagine how he felt about himself, and then having to come in front of the emperor, not knowing that he was the only one who actually was full of integrity and approached the whole thing with honesty. Same as he was seen in that moment, and everything, all the characteristics that spoke about his character were really evident to the emperor. So whatever in your own life has brought this deep pain or deep tiredness, or whatever your barren pot is, there is someone who will see how you have dealt with it. You have not dealt with it in a way that is wrong, that needs accusation. You have dealt with it really well. God sees you. But I am sure that there will be a human being who will see it as well. And in the Bible, there is a book that speaks about that. It's called the Book of Ruth. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. You can go, it's very short, only 4 chapters. But Ruth was a widow. And she was with her mother-in-law, Naomi. Naomi was a Jew, Israelite, and Ruth was a Moabite. Well, they came back to Naomi's land, and then Ruth met Boaz, whom at the time she didn't know was going to become her husband. And he tells her, all that you have done for your mother-in-law after the death of your husband has been told me. In other words, I know all the good that you have done, even though you didn't do it in order for it to be praised or proclaimed. You did it out of the goodness of your heart. But I was told, and I can see you. I can see you. So how to deal with the depth of tiredness that is a bit heavier than a natural tiredness is by allowing someone to see your soul, a one trusted person who will see where you're coming from, who will see your heart. Be prudent who that person is, because not everyone will understand. Same as the story about the bear and pot. Most people will laugh. But no, until there is a witness in a human form who will do that for you, God sees you. He does. God sees you. Well done. Truly, well done. It will be rewarded. How you have dealt with this particular issue in your life will not go unnoticed. It will not go unnoticed. So this is a thought I wanted to share with you today, and let you ponder on it further in your own time. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, please do like, subscribe and comment, and perhaps tell me what you would like me to talk about next time. Talk to you again soon. Bye!